So many people watching my videos may be wondering to themselves why I haven't, as of yet, converted to the ancient pagan Japanese religion of Shinto. Now, obviously, there's many reasons why I haven't converted to Shinto. I am an Australian, I'm not Japanese. I live in Melbourne in Australia, I don't live in Japan. And I don't know where there are any local Japanese Shinto temples anyway, if I was just to start turning up on a daily basis and start doing Shinto prayers and so on. I don't know how to go about it. I haven't Googled how to go about it, but I'm going to make an assumption that there aren't that many Shinto shrines here in Australia. It's not a Shinto country. We don't have a rich history of worshipping gods that are connected to nature. I don't know if you're aware, but Shintoism is one of those ancient religions that's very much based on folklore. There's a lot of, I think there's worshipping of ancestors, but there's also a lot of worshipping of kami, which are gods, and a lot of it's connected to nature and animals. So it's quite an enticing religion. You know, it's a religion of critters. And Japanese people sort of use that for their customs, and the average Japanese person may consider themselves Shinto in as much as they may visit the Shinto shrines, do the clapping, do a prayer or two, worship some pagan gods, but they're also Buddhist in their philosophy. So Buddhism is more a way of life in Japan, I suppose. It's a religion that's more about, it covers a different ground. I would say that Buddhism is more similar to Christianity in that sense, but it's quite beautiful that Japan can incorporate both of those religions into themselves. And, you could almost say Japan is a bit of an advanced country. I had an ex-girlfriend who used to say that she thinks the reason there's so many cults in Japan is because Japanese people are comfortable with many gods, like in Shintoism. So they can it's natural to have many cults existing, and you're not going to crack down on them so much. When I went and visited Japanese Jesus' grave in Aomori back in 2016, and I intermingled with the locals, I went to Christ Stop, which is the convenience store based on Jesus Christ at Jesus' grave in Japan. And they drove me to this lake called Lake Towada, God's Lake. And they made me worship at all these Shinto shrines all in a row. There were 10 of them going towards the lake, God's Lake. And being Australian, I did the Shinto prayers at each shrine when they told me to, but I didn't do it properly because I was being too relaxed and casual. Australians have a big problem with being too casual, and they kept making me do it again. They wouldn't let me get away with casually doing Shinto prayers at the shrine. So I quickly learned to not rush it and to savor every prayer. And then they were happy with me, but then this glow came over me that made me feel this spiritual awakening, let's say. Something that I haven't really experienced when I'm having anything to do with other religions, including Buddhism. Now, I am a Roman Catholic, and obviously sometimes when I go to a Catholic church, I do feel a certain sense of spirituality. I went to a wedding last year in a Catholic church. I hadn't been to a Catholic church in so long, despite being Catholic. But I went up and I received the Eucharist, the body of Christ, and I did the prayer, and I sat down, and I felt a little bit spiritual. So sometimes I do wonder about just getting closer to the Catholic Church rather than going on this pagan journey into Shintoism, And sometimes I do wonder, am I just doing all of this in the pursuit of women? For a long time I realized that the girls that I was pursuing, there were always other Catholics. Because to be Catholic is quite it's not a sinful thing. There's a lot of life in being Catholic. There's a lot of debauchery, I guess. When I think about it, some of the different countries I've gone to, I've also intermingled with either lapsed Islamic people, where there was a little bit of an allure as well. And then there was also all the Japanese Shinto people that I have intermingled with and soaked up some of their energy. And you may wonder to yourself, is that because I'm Catholic? And Catholics, while they claim to believe in the one true God and they're very strict Christians, there's also this thing that isn't talked about too much, where Catholics are very open to other religions and getting sort of lured away by spirits. When you're Catholic, you feel like there's a license to explore all the false gods out there, if you want to put it that way. And I think that's definitely something I've done. And I noticed when I was in Japan, a lot of the foreign friends I had were also lapsed Catholics, whether they were from Germany or Britain or whatever. And we had no problem doing Shinto prayers at all the Shinto shrines. It all felt part of the whole Catholic thing. Whereas we had there was an Australian girl who was more a hardcore Christian, or grew up in a more, let's call it a Bible bashing Christian group, whatever it was. And she was not happy with us doing Shinto shrines. She thought it was sacrilegious, and she stormed off. Even though she was an anime fan, and surely watching anime as a hardcore Christian is the same as worshipping at a Shinto shrine. I don't know, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are you also thinking of converting to Shintoism? Are you Japanese? Do you want me to join Shintoism? I'm assuming the answer is no. I think they like to think of it as more of a Japanese religion for Japanese people, but I might be wrong. Do you know where there are any local Shinto churches here in Australia? Are you a Shinto priest watching my videos who just loves indulging in a bit of the Loneliest Man channel? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time.